Hi, I'm Brian Menard, and I'm here to give you some guidance on how to scan your photos, slides, and negatives for deposit into the Vanguard Historical Society. Now, first thing we have to talk about is the preparation before you do any scanning. You have photos that may be in albums, just like this one I have here, which have the protective covering over top that could be stuck to the photos. You need to be very careful on how you peel back that. Right, it's obvious. You can see that maybe some of them may be stuck, and in this case we have a film that has lasted 40 years without sticking to the photos. Now, the photos themselves, they may have debris on them as well. When you take a photo out of the album, you need to make sure that this is also dust free. The same thing with slides and negatives. You may want to use canned air to gently blow off, so not at full strength, but add a little bit at a time to blow some of that dust off. Because when you're taking this photo and you're going to be putting it on top of the scanning bed, the glass platen, you're going to be transferring dust that comes from the top of these media, and you're transferring it onto that platen, and that's the last thing you want. Dust is your enemy when you're scanning anything. Now, that's the next part. When it comes to the platen itself, you want to make sure that's clean. Now, you could gently use this to get rid of some dust, but the best thing to use is a microfiber cloth. The same thing you use for glasses. Right? It's the best thing possible. A little bit of cleanser that can be the same as what you use with your glasses that's non-abrasive, and you can clean that platen down. There's always going to be dust, always. So it's good to clean things off once in a while. Now, you may have a dedicated slide negative scanner like this one here. This is a lot more difficult to get inside and clean off the little lens that's in there. This is where the compressed air may come in handy, where you take out the cartridges and you take a bit of this with this little nozzle, spray inside, and get rid of some of the dust that's in there. Now, I've had that situation where I've scanned without noticing multiple slides, and there's been one nice big dust speck that came off of a slide that I missed, and it sat there for a while. Now, the opportunity is to do those slides again or to edit the dust speck out with a photo editing software. Okay, now that we've talked about that preparation of gently removing photos from albums, which, by the way, you can use dental floss to coerce it off of the plastic if you're really stuck because of moisture that may have got in it. Now, let's talk about why we're scanning this. Right? We're scanning them to get them into a digital image that's going to be used on the web. Those digital images have to be at such good quality that we don't distort it by growing it on large screens, or that we don't lose any quality in what actually exists within the photograph itself. So we're going to look at how we scan to the screen. Some people may ask, what about scanning for the purpose of printing? Well, that's part of this as well. When you scan on a flatbed scanner, you have the opportunity, or for any scanner for that matter, the opportunity to pick DPI, dots per inch, which is really for print material. Or you can pick things like pixels. And that's really what we're interested in here for the media presentation on a website. Now, that great quality that we're looking for on a website will translate very well to print form, hard copy, if we ever needed it. Okay, let's take a look at our scanning software. Now that we've got a couple photos on the scanning bed, let's take a look at what settings we have to do in order to get those photos in high quality for the Vanguard Historical Society website. Now, first off, as you see this scanning software here, we have the ability to preview what we put on the platen. So I'm going to do that right now. The scanner is going to quickly warm up and show me that I have a couple pictures on the flatbed. What we're going to look at now is when those pictures display, we're going to decide how we want to scan them. If we want to scan them as one image, or if we want to scan them as two separate images. So here we have them separated by the white space, of course, that's behind the photos. We're going to select automatically what's on that flatbed. Here you're seeing it's taking up both photos. We have the ability here now to crop ahead of time. You can see that this photo is slightly rotated, so I'm going to crop out the little white bit on the end. But we have this photo still to select as well. So with our selector, I'm going to drag through this, and you can see I've now selected another photo. And again, I have the ability to adjust the edges if I need to. Now we have two photos ready for scanning. So what I need to do is set the scanning resolution appropriate for that great display on the internet. So I'm going to pick the first photo and now set everything within the software. First, we want a great resolution. That's 24-bit color. We're going to look at a DPI of 72. More on that in a second. We want to pick pixels if possible with the software that we have. Not everybody has that ability with their software, but it's great if you have it. So 72 DPI and the ability to pick pixels. When we pick pixels, we want the smallest dimension. You can see we're 419 by 280 pixels right now. We want it much bigger than that. Our screens are at least 1920 across. So we're going to make this 3000. The smallest number is going to be 3000. It will automatically decide what the width is that corresponds to that 3000 width. So now we've got a great dimension for this photo as we get it scanned for the website. Next, I want to select this photo and do the same thing. 24-bit color, 72 DPI, the pixels. You can see we have to adjust them for this one as well. 3000 high, and it's going to decide the width. Now, here where your scanning software may not have the ability to select pixels, then in the DPI, just pick 600. 600 is going to give you a really good dimension of pixels, and I'll show you how you can check that on your Windows screen. Now we're going to click on Scan, and we're going to get some more options that I'll show you that are very important to how we get that file ready to use. So the format we need all our images to be in is JPEG. That's the right format for web use, and we've selected that here. The next thing is the quality of that from a JPEG point of view is a quality of 11, which is the compression number. If you have the options to do that, I would suggest you do. Next is, well, what do we want the file name to be called and where do we want it stored? Well, for the Vanguard Historical Society, we have a file naming convention that's set up so that we can easily identify what the photo is from. We have so many great years of so many organizations within VMAPA that we need to have a quick way of identifying by file name. So in this case, I've already preset it that this is SCV. I've separated it with an underscore. It's 1982. It's DCI prelims, and the person that scanned it is Brian Menard, me. And I've got an underscore at the end in this case. Now, I can also set the numbering system. So what do I want to number it to? Okay. I wanted to start the numbering system at 1 in this case, and we're going to increment that for every photo we have of the 1982 DCI prelims. For the folder location, this is another thing that we have recommendations for, and you can get more information on that, on the folders and the naming from our history section of the current Vanguard website. So in this case, you can see I already have a folder hierarchy set up as SCV 1982, and here I've got core folder. I'm going to go right into 1982, add a new folder, and I'm going to call that one DCI prelims. And that's the folder I want to use now, DCI prelims. We're ready to scan. Now, my scanner is going to take a little while to scan this, and so we're going to cut from here to the final files that are on the file system within my Windows computer. So here we have the two resulting files from our scan, And you can see that we've got the file naming standard we had set up with the numbering system that's taking place automatically with the software. As well, we're in the folder structure we wanted to be in. And if we click on one image, in Windows you'll see there's properties. You could also right mouse click on them and get properties that way. But we're going to look at the properties list down here, and you'll see dimensions. The dimensions are telling us the pixel size of this image, and this is a really good size for web reproduction. In fact, it's great for HD quality. Now, let's talk a little bit about scanning slides. When you have the dedicated slide scanners and negative scanners like these, they do provide a very high quality, large pixel number image on scan. And there's also the ability to do those on some scanners. Now, some scanners may only still provide you with a DPI setting. What you want to do for things like slides, because they're such a small image to begin with, and negatives for that matter if you have that ability, is to set your resolution to somewhere around 4000 if you can. Right? So we can set this by hand, and that's pretty much the resolution that you'll get from these dedicated type slide scanners. So there you go. You can use other systems for scanning, like a DSLR camera or a cell phone, and those don't give you the same type of quality that you're going to get from a dedicated flatbed scanner or a dedicated slide negative scanner. I hope this was informative, and there'll be more information on the history page of the Vanguard website if you need to look something up. Enjoy your scanning. Bye.